My name is Corey, and today we are going to be looking at the project file of a short clip that Ben and I did, which is called Final Entry. Excuse me, I'm kind of eating carrots. So Final Entry is a 5-minute film that Ben and I, aka the Hedgeman, we submitted to Campus Movie Fest, which, if you don't know, is a campus and nationwide film festival event in which you have a week to create a 5-minute or less film. So, being the nice college, responsible college students that we are, we entered this contest and did everything last minute. We did it the day before it was due. We filmed and edited this beautiful project together. It turned out pretty well. We got top 16. We don't know where in that top 16 we were. I would imagine we were in top like 5-ish, I would say, maybe 7. But it was pretty good. Of course, there's a lot of things I would change because we did do it in a day. I would redo some shots. I would, just take the time to edit it a little bit better, etc., etc. But the purpose of this is when you're it's one thing to understand the concepts of Sony Vegas, etc., etc., but it's another thing to put them into practice. So I can make tutorials all day, and I have, on how to use Sony Vegas. But where those skills really come into play and determine whether or not you actually know the things is during like a big project like this. This is the first main project we've ever done for like a competition, so it was much different than your typical just, oh, we're just gonna make a movie to make a movie. So we put a lot of effort into it, and a lot of editing went into it as well to fix all the stuff we made because we only filmed for a couple hours. So I just want to talk about some pieces in here that I really like, some things that I don't like, and theme of this is what we did is we filmed a bunch of shots, and then we just pieced it together based on the audio. So the way this worked was we came up with a script and we recorded the audio, and then we kind of just went out and filmed stuff, and then built the visuals based on the audio. So a lot of the scenes you'll see, like for example, this scene, mute this. This scene, or these scenes, all these night scenes, was just Ben just going out and just filming really late at night, and there was no one there. And so, I mean, like stuff like this is super easy because there's no set audio. You don't need anyone in the shot. There's not really much there's no choreography actually. So it's really just getting interesting shots. Things we did. So a lot of there's a ton of editing that was done. If you watch the video, you'll see on most of it kind of like a bluish or gloomy tint. And so some recommendations I have is, first things first, if you can, film with the same camera. So it was odd because we were using a film camera and then like a DSLR meant for photography. Of course, the DSLR is fine for filming, but it has its disadvantages as compared to the film camera. And they were different brands, so the ISOs didn't mean the same thing. The aperture probably didn't matter. But the settings, even if they were the same on each camera, which they weren't, it would look a little bit different. And if you film with the same camera at the same settings, within a reasonable amount, obviously the light changes throughout the day, then your job in post becomes a lot easier. So if you can do that, that would be phenomenal. And the other thing I would recommend is, if you're working with multiple people on this, across different computers, save everything in one folder, have a backup of it, and then whatever clips that you're going to use, rename them before you get into Sony Vegas. So there's a lot you need to do before you even think about going in and editing. You need to make sure all the names. If you don't want something named DSC in like underscore 3001, then go ahead and change it before you even open Sony Vegas. Because if you change it afterwards, it's going to make your life a nightmare. Especially if you have a bunch of different film segments. So change the name, make everything as organized as possible, because everything is going to become a disaster as you start to edit and cut things and, be picky, etc., etc. So that's all the pre-editing stuff. And the next thing as well that I would recommend is if you're doing something like this, where you're piecing together a bunch of clips, there's a setting called Auto Ripple under Options, Ripple, Auto Ripple. So what this does is if you have a whole bunch of different clips here, like if you have this giant clip and you just want to cut out, let's say, this piece. We'll go ahead and show what it does. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Options. Ooh, I don't want to because it's going to mess up the rest of the video. But what it will do is if you want to delete that, it'll automatically drag this over here. So you don't have to sit here and drag, every single clip to the end. It will go ahead and do that automatically. So Ben found that out. Credit to him. And that's a really helpful thing. It made things much easier. Unfortunately, we discovered it at the end, but it's still a fantastic feature to know for the future. My favorite clips in this movie, this being one of them, which is a complete accident, by the way. This is a beautiful shot. I would recommend to just film. Just have the cameras rolling and do something in front of them. So I'd say the same thing when I'm teaching photography classes, is that the worst thing that can happen is you'll take a bad picture and you'll delete it. The best thing that can happen is you'll get something freaking phenomenal that looks like this. This shot here is just fantastic. It's just beautiful. It's such a good shot, the way the light hits, all the cinematography and photography rules apply there, and it makes it really good. So some other things that we did is, so we took a bunch of stills here. Well, we took a still. So this is a still, and we applied some effects. So the effects that we did is a slight zoom. So from the front to the end, all we did, I don't know why that's zoomed out so much. All we did was take our, position and zoom it in, 5% or so, just so you get a neat little leading you into the frame kind of effect there. The other thing we did was we turned down the gloominess by using brightness and contrast, bumped the blue again, you'll notice everything is down except the blue, and the film effects we added. So film effects is really cool. So if I play this back, you'll see like a little flickering. You see that little flicker? So that's just a dust particle effect. Yeah, there's just a flicker option, and you can just check the flicker options and then just choose the amount. So if I want to flicker a lot, I can just drag it on up, and if we play it back, then it's a crazy horror movie. So stuff like that to make your video a little bit more dynamic depending on the mood that you're going for. If you're going for a little bit of a gloomy, dark mood, that kind of effect is really effective, and it's so easy. And of course, don't just copy that over to the everything else. Like we copied it over here, like we literally copied attributes. So if you have something like this where we have two almost identical types of clips, and I mean these were literally shot, I don't know, 5 minutes apart. So what you can actually do is you can right click on the clip that has all your editing, and you can just actually hit copy and then hit paste event attributes. And what that will do is it'll paste over all of the effects, and I believe probably not the event, the cropping. I don't think that transfers the cropping. So that's how you make it a little bit more dynamic. Like here what we did was, this was kind of shaky cam, and we did it on purpose. And it was to kind of highlight, actually we were going for a different kind of intro. I was going to actually have the intro motion tracked to this paper in 3D, but that turned out to be too much work, so we just went with our typical nice little last entry. You'll notice that I have a ton of tracks here. A lot of these aren't being used. Like these bottom two, there's literally nothing on them. Why are they there? Who knows? Movie ends right here, but we still have all this just shit right after it. And so this is going to happen. This is just dragging clips in, cutting, 10 seconds or 15 seconds out, and just leaving it there. So make sure to, if you're going to do this, make sure to add markers, put it on different tracks, label your tracks. All these things makes it a lot easier. Even though this looks like a mess, it's actually pretty organized. That's a little bit of a lie, but it's organized to me, and that's what counts. I know what's going on. So there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So make sure it's not too bright, etc. So filming in the dark is the worst. So this is a film thing. I still am not 100% sure on how to do it, but I believe what you have to do is have some kind of backlight, kind of like a bluish backlight. It makes it look a little bit darker. The way that we filmed this was we literally turned all the lights off possible, and we had as many candles as we had in the house. And you can see it's very grainy. And there are ways to, there are like some plugins that help with this, but overall, either don't film in the dark or know what you're doing. So, or else it's not gonna look the way you want it to. Let's all just be honest. So, kind of out of order here, but we have that. Getting in the car. This is sad. I don't even remember my own movie, right? Generator, go to there. So this is pretty cool. So this is a shot of a dead cat. The cat's not actually dead. Even though I think we did a pretty good job. Like, look, it's facing away. There's kind of like a little blood stain up here by its paw, if you can see. And so I think this could have been done a little bit better. Maybe somehow have it in the frame of me standing here. This is literally a picture. We took one frame out of like 20 minutes of recording and then just throw it in. So this section here is not great. I would redo it, but we needed more time to do that. So moving along, this is a pretty good shot too. So here, what we had to do is we had to edit out the actual names of all the video games. And so the way that's done is you duplicate the track. This is the duplicated track up top. And it's just, all it is masking. So all you do is you have one mask of what you want to mask out. So I wanted to mask out all of these names here. And you set the mask to, what is this compositing mode? Source alpha. Okay, so you can just mask out, I believe there's an option around here, Gaussian blur on top of it, and you will mask out just the names here. So again, it's a neat little, tutorial I've made on something, putting that into practice. Some other things, this is a really good shot I'd like to point out. Again, Ben got this shot. It's crazy. He doesn't even know what he's doing, but he gets some beautiful shots. This is an interesting segment here, so let me see if I can mute. So the reason I know which tracks to mute is because it's labeled here. This is labeled Garage Door 1 and Garage Door, so maybe a little bit better. This is an issue, so as you can see, walking up to the thing, there is, the garage door is closed, and then you jump up, and then, oh, boom, look, the garage door is open. How did that happen? This was a little bit tricky. So this required, I think this took like 30 seconds to do. It could have been done better. Honestly, would have just refilmed it. You can't really notice it too much. The way we did it, and we had it fade out kind of when it started looking bad. Essentially, this was the same thing. I took a still image, a still frame, one frame of this shot as I'm walking towards the porch, and again I masked out the door, the garage door, and I have the frame above it, which is me jumping up, and essentially all I'm doing is I'm masking it out, but I'm also masking out this top portion here. So I'm just taking this garage door segment and just replacing it. So this, I believe, is a different source. Different compositing mode. No, it's not. Is it? This one's subtract. So all I'm getting is I'm subtracting out the mask, and I'm taking the garage door and plopping it in. That's all that is. Very easy to do. Took like 5 minutes. Um, Simple concept. Masking was like the biggest help in this. Like if you understand masking, then like that's a huge chunk of the video editing, in my opinion, done. Masking and like color correction. That's all you need, really. So some other cool things. We have this neat little intro here. The T3 there representing the Techies. So you want to know how I did that? I can make a tutorial if you'd like. Just post a comment and I'll do it. And all that really was I took a studio. This was a studio in Cinema 4D and rendered out the T3, threw it in After Effects and threw some glitches on it. I think it was a preset or maybe I was using Twitch. I'm not sure. This was also done in After Effects. This took an incredibly long time to do, just animating all of this. It came out really smooth, though. I really love the way it came out. But I can make a tutorial on that as well if you'd like. So that's pretty much it on my end for actual video, um, the video file. So there's one last thing that I would like to show you, and that is the final widescreen cut. So a lot of cool things can be fixed just by switching things to widescreen. So I think this is it. Was this it? Yeah, this is it. So let's see. Like, look how much better this shot right here. Well, not that shot. This shot right here. So this shot was, and again, animated on accident. So if I just play it, I don't know how good it looks, but it follows kind of the footrest, putting the foot on the ground there. It's a really clean shot. Again, this shot here, the intro looks beautiful. You don't have to show everything. You need to show the important pieces. What we wanted to show was the life is good, the journal entry, the camera, and the newspaper article. So a little fun fact, this newspaper article is actually about how the population is booming. And that was from like 1995. So we were in my parents' house and they just had a population news article just lying around. It's like this shot looks a lot gloomier, this shot looks the same almost, that shot looks the same. This shot in particular was one of the biggest fixes. So if I go back, something I forgot to mention, to the original file, I just saw it. Here, that globe shot, actually, there's a car in the background. Right there. If you see that little motion there, that's a car. So that was really easily fixed just simply by using the widescreen. And also um, fading out. I don't know why it took me so long to remember that word for some reason. So that shot again looks really good. That's really good. That's a good shot right there too. Everything just kind of looks better. So when you're filming, also keep in mind that if it's a drama especially, you want to throw it in widescreen. So here's a segment that we overlooked, the final submission. There was a really cool water reflection up here. I'll see if it's in this file. I think it is. Yeah, so if you look at the top here, there's a really cool water reflection, and we really love that shot, that kind of that effect as part of the shot, but we lost it in the widescreen and we didn't even notice. So, oh well, what can you do? That's something that we probably would have still sacrificed, maybe move the widescreen section up a little bit so you still get a piece of the reflection, but there was actually stuff happening at the bottom here that we needed to keep. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine, it's fine. Here's the cat scene, dog scene, the darkness scene. So this looks better when it's widescreen because you have the black. It's kind of everything's kind of fading to black, so it's just a little bit more pleasing. It looks less horrible if it's just the full screen. So that's the same. That's the same. That's a pretty good shot right there. It's a good shot. Same, same, same. This shot, it's okay. Same shot, same shot. It looks really good. Look at that. It looks like a picture. Good shot. Good, good, good. Pick up the gun. Go. This is a really good shot right here. This one's really good. Dog. Okay. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, film for the best, crop for the best. Make sure your cameras are the same if you can. It'll make your life easier. Filing names, make sure all that's set up. Make sure you have some kind of organization. And, just have fun. Yeah, just keep filming and eventually you'll get something good. So, if you had any questions, please post below. I'll answer them as soon as I can. And yeah, watch the videos if you can. That'd be awesome. So thanks guys for watching. This has been Corey from the Techies.